Greetings here at one of America's favorite abandoned malls, which is a little odd because this parking lot is like freshly paved and painted, even though there's no stores left, which is strange. Anyway, I've had this 2021 BMW X3 for about 4 months now, and while I've really enjoyed it, no car is perfect. So what I thought I'd do here is something a little different and go over, in no particular order, the top 10 things I like least about this car.
Number 10.
Alright, for the first one here, I'm going to start with a bit of a quirky one and somewhat of a head scratcher. And I got to come back here under the seats, and there's this air vent down here that's completely open. There's no stopping thing or anything, it's just completely open. So you can imagine like a bunch of coins and quarters and dirt and all kinds of stuff. They're just going to end up under there. Who knows where it goes and who knows what it's going to clog up, but I can't imagine that's good. There's another one on the other side as well, but I'm kind of featuring the one under the driver door right now. So that's really, really weird to me. Now, to counter this, I did buy these vents that go right over the top of them. You can see there's a little piece of tape. I haven't installed them obviously yet, but they go right like that, and that's what it probably should look like from the factory. Not this wide open vent that just anything can fall in. It seems like a really odd design. So I'm glad I got the vents, and that will stop anything from going up under there.
Number 9.
Alright, this next one I'm pretty sure affects a lot of people, and I don't understand why it's still a thing, but it has to do with the windshield wipers. They don't go all the way to the edge. You can see there's a line there from when I wiped this before of dirt that accumulates, because that's where the wipers stop. Why, oh why can't the wipers go all the way off and fly everything to the side? When I hit them to wash the windows here, you can see it's just gonna stop there, and all that dirt is just gonna dry up and leave a huge mark on my windshield. It doesn't make much sense why you can't just keep it going and flip it all the way off. My old car was like this too, and I'm sure a lot of other cars are as well. But it's, I guess, a big pet peeve of mine, of something I just don't like very much.
Number 8.
So for this one, it's the location of the engine off button, and right now you can't see it. This is kind of where my eyes are when I'm normally, sitting here. It's actually behind the steering wheel. You have to peek around the corner to see it. And what's annoying about it is if I'm approaching a stoplight or something, I want to know whether my engine off button is activated or not. It's not something I can easily just glance at. I have to like lean way over to find it because the steering wheel completely blocks it. I wish it was like down here, and I think the new ones do have it down here. It's also much easier to reach. Oop. So that's a nice update on the newer models, but yeah, that's not a good location. I don't like it there.
Number 7.
This one has to do with the design. I don't know what these things are supposed to be. They stick out like that far. They're huge. I wish it was more flush with the vehicle. I mean, you could still have that for like a spot of color or something, but I can't believe they're functional for any reason. And they just stick out way too much. That would be the one thing I'd change about the design of this thing. Of course, I could have gone with the M Sport package, and that whole thing becomes, part of the car in the same color, but I didn't want to pay $4,000 for that upgrade. And half of me thinks that they purposely designed this to be a little hideous so that you do pay for that extra amount to get a better looking side.
Number 6.
This next one's a little minor, but it is something I'm not quite used to yet. The armrest is so far away. There's a pretty big gap here between the door and where the armrest is, and if you look at the actual car, it kind of swoops out and up, and that's, I think, why it's so far. But when I naturally hold the steering wheel, my arm and elbow is nowhere near the armrest over there. I mean, there's a good 3 or 4 inch gap. Whereas my old car, I in my RAV4, I was able to just set it down and rest. But now I have to like lean way over, and even like this is pretty awkward for me because my natural position, if I'm in the middle of the seat, I'm still not anywhere near where my elbow and arm should rest. You really have to pull it back in order to reach it. So I wish it would have came out a little more. It is kind of a narrow one, so like maybe it pops in a couple inches or something. I don't know. The design of it just seems a bit awkward for me, at least the way I'm built anyway.
Number 5.
This one, time will tell. I got it right before June, so only about 3 months now, roughly, at the time of filming. So obviously I've had this thing all summer, but I do have a heated steering wheel, and I've been trying it out on occasion, but I can't feel it. And this was before I had the steering wheel cover. So underneath, was obviously the stock regular steering wheel, and like I felt almost no heat. There was some heat like between my fingers up here, but who holds the steering wheel like this driving down the road in the middle of winter? I almost felt nothing around the sides, and I took it to the BMW geniuses, and they kind of agreed with me, like they're not feeling anything. It should be like hot. So I'm not sure if something's up with that, but I'm dinging it right now because it hasn't fully worked. And I'm wondering if I just need to wait till like warmer weather or colder weather to test that and really feel that difference. Because testing it during the summer, it's kind of, I guess it's hard to tell. But I'm also wondering, like with the steering wheel cover, is that going to affect things too? I mean, I can always take it off, no big deal. But I'm just wondering how that will work with the heated steering wheel, which is a feature I totally wanted, for sure.
Number 4.
Alright, sticking with the steering wheel theme, this thing does have active lane assist warning, which means over like 45 miles an hour if you try to drift out of your lane, if you're tired or something, the system will go off, and it's supposed to like vibrate the steering wheel. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, it's going to be like a phone, like really, but it's actually very subtle. Like you can't even tell much of a difference between regular road vibration and the vibration from the system. I recently rented another car, a little Nissan, and it had the same feature, and it did what I thought it was going to do. It would vibrate the steering wheel, and it would feel like a phone vibration. But I talked with the BMW Genius guy, and he's like, that's normal. That's what it should feel like. And I'm like, you can't even tell. Like it's so subtle. It needs to be strong to give you a warning. And there are different settings you can do, like medium, strong, low. And I have it on strong, and so I don't know what the deal is. It just seems a little weak.
Number 3.
For this one, it's this. Ugh. It hurts the ears. Why, oh why, is this unlocking beep so loud? And I park in a garage too, here and at work, and it's just... it's so loud. Even if I just open the door and don't use my key fob, you get blasted in the face with that annoying beep. I wish there was a way to really tone it down so that it's very quiet. But if you can't turn it off, like I did, and that's all fine and good, but you can't really hear it lock. There's no audio tone to lock it up, so that's kind of annoying. It's like an all or nothing thing.
Number 2.
This one has to do with the map and the navigation system. For whatever reason, it likes to think a lot of the highways around here are toll roads. You can see this route right here. It's taking you off the interstate and then taking a side route all the way up, which would be far longer than taking this right here and looping around. So I don't know why it thinks that's a toll road. Now there is express lanes, but that's only one lane that you pay for if you want to go faster or avoid the traffic. The whole highway itself is not a toll road, and my Garmin didn't have any problems with this when I was using that. So I'm not sure why. I mean, this happens more than one occasion for me using this. It's kind of annoying because you think you got to get off, but you really don't. And I don't know why it's taking you through this weird detour to avoid the non-toll road. If I go back to, I don't know, toll tag, and go back to our route, you can see now that it's taking me up that way. So again, it's thinking it's a toll road when it's really not.
Number 1.
Next one is really annoying. It's my backup camera. It cannot sense that I have a trailer hitch attached, which I like leaving in as an insurance policy for someone rear-ending me out of the blue. They get a big old fistful of steel versus, my back bumper. But, all the time when I'm backing up like this, it thinks it's an object that I'm about to hit, and I don't understand why it can't sense that there's a and obviously a trailer hitch there attached to the car. Come on, BMW, you should be smarter than that by now.